Yeah.
It's because I feel that way a lot about even like production.
Yeah.
Because there used to be a mentorship, and I hate gatekeeping. I hate the idea of gatekeeping anything creative or anything at all, right? Technical or otherwise. And now we have this age of like, you can YouTube it and you can figure out how to, from scratch, edit a feature film, right? Film, edit, shoot, do all the things to make a feature film. You can also figure out how to do an arm drag. You know, you can figure out how to do everything's on YouTube and has full access. And there's people who are talking into a camera, figuring out how to Athlean X their way to any sort of topic. And the end result are people that understand how to do things, but not well with any sort of point.
This is interesting because I agree with a lot of what you're talking about, like with this production and everything, James, and like you can learn so much online about a lot of this stuff. Hi, welcome to the show. We were already in the middle of a conversation and we just went, you know what? This is the show. Roll. Yeah.
We've been going.
which is fine. So, hey guys, welcome. It's Creating Character Podcast with Scorpio Sky James Willems, and I'm your producer Eric. And we're talking about how you can learn so much on YouTube. We were kind of talking about wrestling sort of as like the backdrop for this. But what James was talking about was you can learn so much by going on YouTube and see how this stuff is seasoned and see how these things go together. That's actually how I learned how to make masks, like Lucha Libre masks, because I have no idea. And during COVID, I just started watching YouTube videos about how to do it. And can I do it well? Absolutely not. But can I do it? I can do it enough to skate by. And I wonder if that's sort of what applies to like what you guys are talking about and like this production sort of thing and wrestling and everything.
It applies to everything. And I want to be clear. I love that we can learn. I'm someone who loves to learn. Sometimes I'll find videos on topics that I'm not even going to pursue, like programming or different things, that rocket science. I'm not going to be a rocket scientist. I have no intention, but I'll watch these things because it's really fun to learn sometimes. But I think the issue is we underestimate how less effective learning in a vacuum can be sometimes. I know that when I was studying film, studying how to make feature films and production, I had access to a little bit more, not the way people do have it now. I certainly didn't have a thing in my pocket that I could go film a feature film with anytime, but I had digital editing software. I could take my mini DVs. I could cut it as many times as possible. And that's great. But do I think I am a worse editor than someone who had to take a reel of film and find the right spot because they knew if they cut it wrong, it's gonna cost them some time. Yeah. So there's an efficiency to what I've learned how to do. But when you learn that efficiency, if you don't have this great educated mind, like really guiding you, showing you the nuance of everything for you, the student, and it's just someone talking how to do it or showing the secrets or pulling up the rug, right? It's not going to land the same. You're not going to get the same tools out of it. I don't know.
Well, you know, actually, I laughed what you said a moment ago. And obviously, to the audience, we have a very unorthodox open to this show. Yeah. But we had a really good conversation going before we actually hit, record or actually said, let's start using this. And I may be the newest of the three of us to the podcast world, but I have learned that when you have a good conversation flowing, maybe we should just ride that. But what you said a moment ago made me laugh because I thought in my saves on my TikTok right now, there was a video that says like, if you ever had to land a plane, do you think you can do it? And it takes you through the steps.
I watched that. It's great. It's so funny.
And I have it saved but as if I'm ever going to actually be like, it's okay, guys, I got it.
That video, though, it is satire of this condition. Because the whole thing, it even has the point. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yes, I have it saved.
At the point at the end where it goes, and now's when you beep twice to make sure everyone knows to be seated. You're not doing that if you're saving the plane. No, I think it is because I saw this video, really the same video of how to land. And it goes, now it's time to make sure everyone's seated. All right, tray backs up. Like it makes it seem so technical, but it also understands you're never gonna fucking do this. I actually saw some comments that were like, whoa, some people have this saved. What do they think? What do they think?
I'm those people.
Big hero energy.
I am those. And it's not even hero energy. It's, I don't know why. Like to what we were saying, and I think the accessibility of YouTube and things of that nature, and giving you the ability to learn these things is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I like learning about, like, I have so many things saved that I may never go to.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I ever want to learn how to make a, cast iron skillet out of scratch, I know how to do it. I've got a video
to clean
that
your
will
cast
show me
iron
how
as
to
well,
do
yeah.
it. Like, I've got the ability to do it if I want to.
Well, it's tough. Last night I made a homemade pizza.
Okay.
I had flour. So I started from scratch.
You started the dough from
I started the dough from
Oh.
scratch, right? And it
Dedication.
turned out really, really good. I wanted to have high protein, so I put some vital wheat gluten in there. I put all kinds of nutritional yeast, so it had this cheesy taste. I did all these different things. I'm not a baker, and I don't know why it worked. I just found some guy in my saved Instagram that made this pizza once before and put all the measurements, and I copied that. I didn't learn anything. I made a pizza, and it's delicious. It's delicious, but I didn't learn anything. And I think that's where a lot of people are now, Eric.
I agree. And here's where I'm circling it back to wrestling, because I get these. It's not a lot, and it's not super often, but I'll get them on TikTok here and there, in between car crashes and animal fights and stuff. It will be from seminars, from pro wrestling seminars, and it's a guy showing you hey, if you're learning from me, here's how I teach you, here's how you throw a punch, and it's cup your hand and do this stuff, and when you hit here and all this stuff. And I watched the video, and if it was 1999 and I saw that, I would have been in the backyard and we all would have been practicing throwing punches. None of us would have done it right. And none of us would have learned anything, and we would have just been hitting each other. And so when you're talking about learning inside the vacuum, it's cool for a recipe. To me, it makes all the sense in the world to use it for a recipe where you're following these instructions and you're going, oh, there's an end result that is a tangible thing that I don't need 10,000 hours for. But where it gets dangerous might not be the right word, but where it gets a little muddy and a little murky is when it's the 10,000 hours thing. Because Sky, when you started wrestling training, and James, when you started wrestling training, you know how to throw a fucking punch. Did no idea how to throw a work punch to make something work inside of a match. And so many guys can't, and that's why they throw forearms. And I'm looking at, and if you're watching this and you're a pro wrestler and you took offense to that, I meant every word of it. Just throw a punch. I dare you. Because when you learn hey, watch this video, let's try it, you don't know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. You're focusing on the thing that this one guy showed you in the 60-second clip and not all of the pieces around it and the why to all of it. And I think that can be dangerous. And for pro wrestling, I think you see more and more of that where people are going to schools and everyone's learning. And I think it's way easier to find a school and all that stuff now. But boy, it's way easier to find some stuff online that teaches you how to do a flipping pile driver. That's all.
Good point.
Learning it should be a two-way street. It goes this way, it goes out from you, and it comes back from the instructor. It's back and forth. It's the best way to learn is by an instructor going, how does this person need to learn this? I have some information. Yes. How do I share it down to them? And then feedback from what they are getting. And that's why it's so important in wrestling. When I go and I train, oftentimes I don't learn from going in there and doing the drill myself. It helps. It's an affirmation. What I learn is I watch the 6 other people do it better than me and worse than me.
True.
And I see it because then I can see it. I can watch them do it and go oh, that was obvious to me. Which if you're doing it, nothing is obvious. It's the way you move. It's your one perspective. How could you ever have that feeling ever differently?
Yeah, I think sometimes your mind has to figure things out. And my example was I didn't get a lot of things wrong when I was training, right? But there were certain things that I struggled with, and I may have not have got it that day, but just going home and thinking about it and okay, what am I doing wrong? And breaking down again, like you said, what other people are doing right and what others are doing wrong. And then I would go back the next day and I'd had it nailed without even the first try. I would nail it. And so there is an aspect of breaking things down, whether it be visually watching other people do it, But, you know, that's not too different as well from people watching it on YouTube, though. So that's where it's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, going back to what you were saying about making a pizza, you followed a recipe and you made the pizza and the pizza was great, but you said you didn't learn anything. But in a way you did, right? Like, you know how to make a pizza now.
I guess the difference, some people will say, I've learned how to make a pizza. I didn't learn anything. I did make a pizza, and it was delicious. And I have it in the freezer, and I'm going to have 2 more slices tonight. That's a promise. But another example is I worked in post-production for I don't know how long. I worked at Funhaus for 10 years. A big thing at what we did at Funhaus is we would cut together these little animations, almost like cutting stuff out of newspapers, but digitally. And then we'd puppet them around. We make them do these different things to visualize some of the jokes we were making. Mm-hmm. I know the basics of how that works, but sometimes you would say, shit, what I really need is a dinosaur to come in from the side and for its mouth to go like, and like talk, grab someone, pull it in, blood, and then pull the thing out. Like something specific. I need that. And off the top of my head, I go, what are the I have no idea what the steps are. I can kind of imagine them, but maybe you try the version you do and you don't. So you Google it, and then you'll find it. Probably out there, someone will say, how to animate a dinosaur biting someone's head off in Adobe Photoshop. You'll follow the steps. You'll do it. It'll turn out fine. A week later, you need something. It's the same tools. You don't know how to do it.
So are you saying basically the accessibility of being able to go to your phone or whatever it may be and find out how to do something is keeping people from learning how to do them?
I think people are learning how to get the end result, but not learning the process of why the end result is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to trust the process, Sky. Trust the process.
Oh, boy.
But I think it's like if I had gone, and not everyone has time for this, and not everything warrants this. So this is not a condemnation of those types of things. But what I should do is I should go to a person who understands how the program works and understands how visual art works. And they should teach me all those elements. And they say, well, when you're trying to get this type of result, these are the steps you would generally take. This is the process. And I don't learn the process by just going 500 grams of all flour.
I got you.
You know, like
I could simplify that. If you just look at where we're at as far as driving, right? You know someone, maybe you are someone, I don't know, that has to navigate every single place you go. And even if you've been there 100 times, I know people that are like that.
Yep.
Even if they've been there 100 times, they navigate. They cannot get there without navigating.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to, okay, maybe you navigate 1 or 2 times or whatever, and then you have it down, and then you know where it is, and you can figure out, okay, like this normal route's not working. There's a road closure, whatever. I know I can get off here and I can do this, and you know, things of that nature. I've been in the car with people where I'm like, all right, this doesn't work. Yeah, just exit here and we'll go down this street.
We got to go north.
And they're just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And yeah, so that's part of it right there.
Yeah.
Like when you're navigating somewhere, you're not really learning how to get there. You're just following directions.
Another good example is a friend of mine. I train him in the gym, and I have for several years, and he's made excellent progress. Like it's from something that he never really thought about to something that he thinks about and puts work into and does a lot of stuff. But some days, a lot of days, I will be like, okay, we're doing overhead press next. And he'll be like, what do we need for that? You go, it's overhead press. Like he's not learning the process of training. He's following my lead.
Right.
And he's doing it very well, and he's getting results, but he's not learning the process of doing it because, well, I'll say this thing that I understand why, number one, why we're doing it. We need to work a push that focuses on our shoulders, because yesterday we did something that focused too much on pulse, and now we're kind of fit. None of that is through. And it's funny because my wife, Elise, will often say, you know, he's getting in really good shape. Do you ever think he'll get stronger than you? Like, would you ever think he'll surpass you in strength? And I go, absolutely not. Because I know what the overhead press does.
Yeah.
And I know why we're doing it. And that's not something he's learning in this process.
Yeah.
We talked about learning in a vacuum, and again, when I was making like these Lucha Libre masks and everything, I'm just sort of like learning and I'm watching videos and I'm sewing and I'm putting things together and they're like, this is for the structure and this is for the stuff. It's gotten to a point now where I've made a couple of masks for a couple of guys who are like, oh, I want to wrestle in this. And it's like, I've never done that before, but we'll try it, you know, whatever. Put them together. Did one for a guy named Demo Diamond. Finished it. Felt good about it. Took it to a show. He's really happy with it. You know, I figured it out. I figured out a lot of stuff. But then I showed it to some of the luchadors. And I said, like, pick this apart. Like, what are the things that you would change if this was yours? And there was this guy Cuervo, and he's sort of going like, oh, you know, hey, with my mask, it's this kind of like layer, and we put this kind of thing here, so that way it protects this thing, and it doesn't tear here, and you can see the venting in the mask in the mouth, and you can do this and that. And then there was a guy, Millionario, who's Psychosis's son. He's at the show. And I asked him, like, what do you think about this? Like, you know, like, you're wrestling in a mask. What do you think? And he said, honestly, it looks good from far away, so you have what it needs to be, but it's this, and this. Like, these are the things I would change. These are the things that would help or whatever. That's the only time I've ever gotten feedback in my life on any of these masks I've ever done from people that use them. And that was infinitely valuable in a way that I couldn't get watching YouTube videos because I'm trying to accomplish something and I don't know what I'm doing. And so being able to get that feedback helps so much. It goes back to that punching thing. When you're learning how to throw a punch, if nobody's showing you how or why, and the why is so important, you're just doing it. And that's really, really tough.
And and bringing it back to wrestling, you know, I'm glad you said that. To what you just said, I think that is something that kind of gets lost in wrestling these days, where it is that like, why are you doing this? And like when I'll do seminars, obviously, you know, I'm not teaching people moves. You know, I just like everybody, the easiest thing in wrestling is doing moves. That anybody can do them. Anybody can learn to do them. Right. So I'm not going to waste people's time with that. What I try to focus on is like attention to detail of when you're going through a spot, instead of just, I'm doing this because it's part of the spot. And you can see the difference when someone is like, just kind of going through the motions. Like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to do this. Instead, it's like, slow it down in your brain and figure out why you're doing that. Why are you doing this little thing? Why are you leapfrogging? Why are you dropping down? Why are you throwing a clothesline? What are you trying to accomplish in that split second moment? And to me, it's just, I think the untrained eye can't see it. You know, like probably most fans aren't really able to tell the difference between someone that's actually breaking it down that way and someone that's just doing it for the sake of doing it. But to the trained eye, you can see it. You could see it. And I truly believe there is like this feel that a fan gets. It's kind of like, this is how I think of matches, you know, a lot of times is like a movie you watch. And you'll watch a movie, a few things stick out and you love it, right? And then you watch it again and you discover something else that you like. I can watch a movie that I grew up watching and watched 30 times, and I could probably notice something I never noticed before. I just brought that up a couple episodes ago when I was talking about Philadelphia, a scene that I had never really it never hit the way it did when I watched it this time. I think matches are like that. We do certain things that register with fans and they don't even know it registers, you know, and then maybe they watch it later and like, okay, I never really realized this part of the match. Like, or I never noticed that, you know, when Kurt Angle gets a guy off of him who has a headlock and he grabs his ear and he's like checking his ear, like little things like that register with people and they don't even always notice it registers right away. And I think that's the coolest thing.
Oh yeah.
Of just that attention to detail. That's what I always call it. The attention to detail. Those are the things that really, really make that story.
I'll add on this that, you know, this is anytime you really want to dive deeper into something and really start to embrace it, not necessarily just make a pizza, right?
Yes.
You know, but warning, once you do dive into it and you start actually learning something, there's a pretty good chance it's going to spoil. There you get this immediate feedback of, oh my gosh, I'm out of the matrix. I can see the world for what it is. I have this greater appreciation for the artistry of whatever it is, or even the process. I thought it was so easy. I thought it was something I could learn in 90 seconds in a YouTube short, but it is in fact something that people devote their whole lives to.
Yeah.
And that is awesome. Oh crap, most of it's bad. And that isn't just for wrestling, but like I was watching a match the other night. I don't remember what, but a wrestler, they did a move, pin, stood up together, kind of that slow, get up. And then they just hooked him and then just walked him to a corner so they could suplex him. And I was like, that's just you wanting to do a suplex. That's not you having a match. And like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Because the middle of the ring hurts a little bit less, and so you needed to put your opponent down there because neither of you wanted to take a mean bump, but you just wanted them to go to the corner, so you took them to the corner.
Yeah.
That's I don't know.
What I really like, that getting out of the matrix and seeing the thing, to me is a bell curve. I had this with wrestling and a lot of things that I really like, where the intro part of it, like the thing that you see at the beginning with me was like wrestling in like an 8-minute match where I'd be like, this is awesome. I love this. I love this. And then you get super into it. And then you go, I don't want these 8-minute matches. Give me 22 minutes. These got near falls, crazy epics and all this stuff. And then you come down on the other side of the bell curve and I'm begging for 8-minute matches again, where I'm going, guys, if you can do like a really good 8-minute match, that's all we really need here. And that's how I feel. Like it's oh, wow, I'm into this thing. This rules. Wow, I'm into this thing. This sucks. Wow, I'm really into this thing. This rules. And it's like that. The simplicity is sometimes the beauty of the thing that you get really into. And that's how I feel about wrestling in the 8-minute match.
I talked about wrestling Richard Holliday a couple weeks ago, and our match was like 5 minutes.
Oh, beautiful.
The show started at 9. We were in the dressing room by 9:09. Like, our match was 5 minutes. And it was
so
genuinely
awesome.
one of my favorite matches I've had in years.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much fun. Like, because it was like two guys going out and just throwing haymakers. Like, we're not throwing jabs. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going out and we're going for the win. And I like that. I like no wasted motion. You know, we were talking a moment ago. That's why I like someone like Bret Hart, right? Nothing Bret Hart. Can you think of anything Bret Hart did that was wasted? Or there was never a moment where you're like, why did he do that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think of it like, this is the type of wrestler I really strive to be. And I can't remember the fighter's name, but there was a fighter, who's a boxer back in the day. And he was so strategic that, you know, you have a 3-minute round and somehow he would always maneuver his way to, when the round ended, he was in his corner. So he can just sit down and his opponent has to walk across the ring. And then
that's
sit down.
so cool. Oh, that's so cool.
And that's the type of wrestler I want to be. Translated into pro wrestling.
Sure, yeah.
Where it's just high level, like, psychology that, and most people probably don't even notice that fighter was doing that. You know, because it's not like I don't think they ever pointed it out on commentary, but, like, you know, the inside baseball people, you kind of watch it and you're like, dude, this guy's really, he's always in his, every round ends in his own corner.
Yeah.
So they just slide the stool in and he just sits down. The other guy has to walk. Like, it's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, that's the type of wrestler I want to be, man. I want, like, that no wasted motion. I want people to look and be like, man, like, everything made sense. Everything you did made sense. Everything was logical. Everything was smooth.
Logical. That's
Logical.
logical. But I feel like that translates to, like, everything that we're talking about. If you entrench yourself in something, at a certain point, it takes shape in your mind and it becomes logical. And a lot of that, you know, there's not one correct way to write a movie or tell a story or have a wrestling match. But your point of view through your experience and your training and your coaching and your learning, something solidifies and it becomes logical.
Yeah.
And I always think about when a movie comes out and it's got a really high audience score and a really low critic score, and all the audience's reaction is, just turn your brain off. I don't know how to emphasize that I can't.
Yeah.
Because there's a logic in my brain. And if this movie, I mean, maybe it's awesome. Maybe I love this terrible movie. But if this movie doesn't adhere to a logic that I have solidified as sound in my mind by watching a lot of movies, by studying a lot of movies, by writing my own stories and making my own things, it just feels like, I don't know, gears are grinding sometimes.
There has to be that balance, though, too, you know, to play devil's advocate. You don't want to over logic. Like you
Right.
don't want over logic where because realistically you can break down every single thing in wrestling, and if you go too far with logic, then none of it is cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, well, why would you ever do any move but your finisher?
Yeah.
You should just be locking up and going for your finisher.
That's how we got UFC, right? It was the maximum logic. At a certain point, someone said, "Why are these boxers not going to the ground?"
We were talking about it backstage. Somebody, one of the guys backstage, he saw this podcast and he was bringing up how several episodes ago I was talking about how like the 10 punches in the corner really should be a finisher. Like,
okay,
remember I was
because
talking
if
about
they're out, you mean because if they're out for that long?
if you hit 10 unanswered punches to someone's face, like in the UFC, it's a fight that's done. They're stopping it at 5. 10 unanswered. Just imagine 1, 2, 3. Like you imagine, like your nose is broken, your eye is swollen shut, you're bleeding. Like that's a finish. But it's just kind of a like get the crowd into it move.
So I do a lot of mounted punches in my match. It's kind of a heel frustrated mounted punches thing. But the thing, I only throw 2, and now the ref is getting on my, hey, get off him. There's always that ref that goes, hey, get off him. Hey, leave him alone.
Yeah.
I don't understand when I'm taking a shine and I'm in the corner getting 10 punch, everyone's counting. The ref is going, only 5 more.
For the record, Eric, I throw punches and forearms.
Hey, that's fine. As long as you're throwing punches in there, then you can mix it up. The problem is when guys stand up, everyone wants to do the stand in the middle of the ring and we're throwing bombs. And they go, the whole time. And you just go, well, I mean, you got to close.
I like mixing it up in those situations. I throw jabs. I throw overhand rights.
I love it.
Euros.
I think the forearm is because you can hit someone, pull back the curtain, you can hit someone really, really hard, legit hard with the forearm, and it does pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
If you open up and you put it in the pocket, like it does almost nothing, but you did it as hard as you could. So I think there's a certain
you could do that
realness
in a
to
punch
it
too. You can do that in a punch.
Punches are
Here's a good question. Who's the best puncher ever in wrestling?
Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. Underrated.
Because he does this 5.
Underrated.
Yeah, it's whatever his punches.
It's Jeff Jarrett for me.
Really?
Well, that's your answer for everything.
Oh yeah,
His
he had
is
the.
an
I mean,
uppercut,
really legit. As
He
much
throws,
as
like,
Jeff Jarrett,
uppercuts.
funny meme guy, he has the big wind up like Memphis uppercut.
Yeah.
I pop for that. If there was a guy, I'm telling you right now, if there was a guy on the indies throwing big Jeff Jarrett punches, it would get so over because nobody's doing it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this because realistically, we can only gauge what it looks like.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it's a good punch or not because it might hurt like hell, right?
Oh yeah.
And pulling back the curtain again, if a punch hurts, it's not a good punch.
Not a good punch.
It's not a good punch.
Not a good punch.
Side note, that's one of the things that's funny is like when I'll see people post online, like, oh, this guy, they'll show a highlight reel. This guy's such a good worker. And it's like,
killing him. He's hurting him.
You don't really know.
Punching the shit
If
out
you
of
haven't,
this
you
guy.
gotta ask the other guy.
If you haven't, you ask the guy, ask the other people in the highlight reel. We don't know if he's a good worker. Like, we know he does cool moves, but we don't. But anyways, so but the one guy I will say that I'm pretty certain doesn't hurt people with his punches because he's kind of universally known for never hurting anyone is Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Right, and his punches look incredible.
Yeah.
His punches always looked really great. This is a Bret Hart appraisal episode. His punches always look great, and apparently he never hurt anyone. So
kicks too. Everything
he did. Yeah, like it was kicking Davey Boy Smith in the face. In their match. It's just like apparently he never hurt anyone. Like he just his strikes were so good. This had a really good punch. Is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh hell yeah.
He had a really good punch.
Yeah.
Do you remember
who have you been in the ring with, Sky, that had some punches where you went like, oh yeah, that was good, and I didn't leave with a goose egg.
You know who was really good at punches and chops was Brody Lee.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Brody Lee we had a match. I think I only wrestled him once, maybe twice. And I want to say it was like SCU against Dark Order early in his run. And it was in Jacksonville. And I was in the ring with him and he was kind of lighting me up with a few things. And it was so good. I was just like, I literally in my mind during the match, I was like, this guy's so good.
Yeah,
like he says, I'm not getting hurt. There's so many people that like, I've talked about it on the show and like throwing chops. I get chopped in the nipples so much, man. I've got so much real estate here. And every chop is right on my nipple. A couple weeks ago when I wrestled again, Richard Holliday, I had I think it was this way. It was like I had fingerprints, 3 fingerprints right across my nipple. I don't remember who I wrestled before that, but Brody Lee was great. Scott Lost back in the day had a really, really great punch that you never really felt. And then his strikes were also like he threw a lot of strikes and all of his strikes were really, really good. You got to watch him. You got to find some footage on Scott Lost.
You should. I would. Oh, dude, Scott, like his strikes were his punches looked so cool because they just throw it from like they looked so big.
They were like overhand rights.
Oh, that was awesome, and they looked so
back,
good. Yeah, way back. It just wail. But then it was so believable because all of his other strikes looked good, so his punches looked good, and it was so much fun to watch that guy.
Yeah, he was 15 years before his time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he was active now, he'd be one of the top guys in wrestling. I think he was so good and really, really innovative. And everything he did, he was like Bret Hart was his favorite wrestler. That's how him and I bonded.
Yeah.
And so he took that Bret Hart excellence of execution type mentality. So everything he did was so crisp. But he was really, really good as far as like strikes go. And he did a lot of strikes, and they all looked really, really good, and they did not kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side, there's some guys that you feel every single thing they do.
Yeah,
it's real.
Yeah.
You gonna name those names too, or no?
Maybe I won't throw those guys out there. Yeah, I don't want to bury anyone.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't want it to be a burial episode.
This, I don't know if you guys know. We've been going 31 minutes.
Have we?
We flew
Thank
through
God
this
we
thing.
started rolling. Otherwise, we'd have been like, well, what are we going to talk about on this
But
episode?
people don't even know. We did a text earlier, our group chat. We're like, what are we talking about today?
Yeah.
And we just sat down and started talking.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I knew it was going to be that too. I knew that once we got together, it was just fucking motor mouths, just going and like finding a thing that was going to be something. But man, I love that we were rolling and that we just came in midway through what James was saying because we'd already been talking for 6 minutes. Yeah. So it's like, all right, cool. Thank you to our tech who decided she was wise enough to just roll on everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart.
Yep. Heck yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good episode. Unorthodox. I think that we've covered everything.
The moral of the episode is that, we all live in the Library of Alexandria. We can find a way to do anything. We can find a resource anywhere, but remember that learning something is sometimes going that extra step. Digging into it, finding an expert, letting them give you feedback, getting feedback is the biggest thing because a lot of people do stuff they never get any feedback. And then share that knowledge when you have it because that's the most important thing. And
I like the shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
Those are cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, figure I'd compliment the shoe game.
Yeah.
It's funny. We got the same jeans on.
Yeah.
This is a awful way to end the show, but same jeans on. And I thought about wearing a button down with a tank on. I mean, we would have been like twinning.
That would have been
Yeah,
great.
you guys would have been twinning
right
We
now.
need a text me your closet next time, and I'll be like, I don't have any of these clothes.
We would have been absolutely twinning. That's funny.
If you like James's shoes, can I show you something? Can you tell me if you like this?
Absolutely. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
You got some new shoes?
Oh,
What the hell?
no.
That's not a shoe.
Somebody made a terrible head of me.
That looks like it got shot in the face twice.
Can you hold yours? Can you move away from the microphone so I can see you both side by side? Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's some of it. I mean, it's a pretty remarkable. Yeah, I see it.
Why did they give you those moles? You don't have those
No.
moles.
Look, this thing's.
Why does it have this? Yeah.
You could do a weekend at Bernie's with you.
Anyway, this is just at our office now. So
All right.
That's
Great.
scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good likeness.
Do you ever just like if your wife sleeps in, you just lay it next to her and see what she wakes
Yeah,
up
she's none the wiser. I just put my disfigured head next to her and I go to sleep in.
It's like the Godfather, except it's his head.
By the way,
Mhm.
this is week 3 on the countdown / count up to
Right.
Sister Act 3.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't looked. There's no new news, I don't think, but I haven't looked.
Let me
So
have a look real quick.
Yeah, let's do a quick little check before we get out of here.
Go to tools, relevance, sort by date. 1 week ago,
What
Sister
are you on,
Act
Ground
reunion. Hopefully, it's just people looking. It was Entertainment Weekly.
Oh,
Barack and Michelle Obama reuniting. Sister Act stars Whoopi Goldberg, Jennifer Lewis for first movie together in almost 30 years. So it's not a Sister Act 3, but we are getting closer as some of the actors are getting together to do some stuff. So maybe they're going to talk and be like, "What if?"
Okay. That's progress.
All right.
That's
let's hope.
progress.
That's progress.
Keep your
Week
fingers
3,
crossed.
counting down up. We're
Well,
getting closer.
if you are out there and you want to make sure you don't miss a single update about the upcoming Sister Act 3 film, you have to follow and subscribe to Creating Character Pod. It's the only place you're going to get these updates, probably for at least another year until it becomes something real, if ever. But it's also a great place to make sure you never miss an episode. You get to see some cool clips, and you get to communicate with the community in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. Is there something that you haven't learned, like maybe a YouTube video series that you're like, I'm not learning from this? Is there something that we're talking about here that you have that isn't pro wrestling, that isn't baking, and isn't making luchador masks? Is there something that you go, yeah, I use YouTube for this, or I use some sort of Instagram reel. I have it saved like a how to land a plane. I know I've not learned anything from watching it, but I have it just in the back in case. But I would love to someday get better in this field of landing a plane when the 2 pilots have been incapacitated. And for some reason, you are,
Both of them.
that was both of them.
Yeah, they're both.
But yeah, let us know down in the comments. That's the place to do it. Creating Character Pod is the place. If you want to make sure you never miss a James Angel MPW title defense,
There we go.
you got to go to james.willems on Instagram. That's where you're going to find out where the next one is. One on Friday. I got another one on Friday. Apparently some twerp won some sort of battle royale, gets a chance to wrestle me. Wow, must be nice. Kick him back down the hill.
I hope we don't get to a day where it's like week 365 of counting down or up to Sister Act 3. Anyways, if you want to get more of me, go on social at Scorpio Sky. If it's TikTok, Scorpio Sky Official. And it has not been announced at the time of this recording, but I'm imagining by the time this recording is out, it will. I will be at Nearly Average Wrestling at the Ontario Improv on August 18th. Don't miss it.
Awesome.
It's going to be a great show.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, you can follow me at Eric Bedour on everything. I've been retweeting a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy TikToks. Check it out. Check it out, man. You gotta see it to believe it.
You got a live show coming up?
Oh no, we already sold out of tickets.
Oh,
We did
great.
it a month in advance,
yeah.
so we did it better than Answer for it. So it's just like not a big deal to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shots.
nice.
Little shot.
Must be nice.
Little shot fired.
Bow!
Little shot fired.
The problem is he was in both shows.
Yeah.
So that means if
somebody's a draw.
No, hold on.
A draw.
Hold on. He was in both shows. So if this show sold out right away and my show sold out after a little while, it means that the draw for his show in New York may not be happening.
James, we should really wrap this thing up. We don't need to really get. We don't have to get to the
Sorry,
bottom
guys,
of this.
We're running
okay,
out of
yeah,
film,
yeah.
so we got to wrap this up. Anyway,
Yeah. Cameras are rolling. We're almost done. I think the reel's empty.
as always, thank you so much for watching, listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.